Well, I'm delighted to welcome live onto the programme now Marko Gasic, international affairs commentator, joining us from the UK. Marko, just reading out some of the claims, it seems more like an episode of the A-Team or something. The British government claims it's got information that Russia wants to install a pro-Kremlin leader in Kiev. A huge allegation to be making. Do you think they need to back it up with some solid evidence if they want the world to actually take it seriously?
Well, after bringing Britain into a series of illegal wars over a period of the last quarter century, from Yugoslavia to Iraq to Libya and elsewhere, it's about time they did produce some evidence for the things that they allege in advance. I mean, Britain has a tradition of excellent fiction writing, some of the best from Shakespeare to Chaucer to whoever, to Dickens. But now it seems that most of the best fiction writers are working for the UK Foreign Office. And they're spinning the UK public into believing a lot of unsubstantiated assertions, as you say.
You had the British government as well naming and shaming several Ukrainian politicians as alleged Russian stooges. Is that even appropriate? And does it constitute meddling, in fact, in a foreign country's affairs?
It's certainly meddling, and meddling is something the UK has been doing in all sorts of countries, while at the same time accusing the Russians of doing that. So it's really the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, creating puppets and tame opposition parties that will do your bidding until you do regime change is something that the UK knows much better even than anyone in the eastern part of the planet. Really, it's really funny to hear the UK accusing others of doing what it specialises in itself. As we know from Syria, from Libya, from Serbia, from a variety, as I say, of countries. This is the hybrid war that the UK specialises in and has its own dedicated 77th Brigade engaged on, together with its US and other allies.
You have these claims coming from Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, by the way, who's rumoured to be planning a leadership challenge if the Tories do get rid of Boris Johnson. Could this Ukraine-Russia story have anything to do at all with her own ambitions?
Well, clearly, a foreign secretary hoping to become a leader will want to raise her profile at crucial points where the leadership is in some discussion. And so where the leader's post is rocking, why wouldn't she roll with that and get her own name very loudly on the headlines as a very strong leader? A kind of Thatcherite anti-Russian position won't do her any harm in presenting herself as what the Conservative Party and the country needs. So that's certainly true. But if we look at the wider picture, really, if we have a politician over in Ukraine being accused of being pro-Russian because he simply is a moderate, he sees Ukraine's future as a buffer between East and West, not aligned with either, not being in the pocket of Russia or the West, then he's being accused of being pro-Russian. So that really tells us what the UK wants from its tame puppets in places like Ukraine, and that is people who will take extremist positions in terms of their own country's future, but which will be in accord with NATO's desire to fight wars in Ukraine, for example, to the last Ukrainian. So that's really what we're talking about here.
Marko, just to get your thoughts on the overall situation, we're in a dangerous place right now in Ukraine. What, in your view, is the best way of de-escalating it?
The best way to de-escalate the Ukraine situation is for Ukraine and Russia to be given part of the new security architecture which the Russians are suggesting. So both countries need to be sure that they won't be endangered by what's coming next. And for that to happen, Ukraine, I'm sure, after all this palaver about 100,000 Russian troops, would like to see those Russian troops move back far, far away. And in return, the Russians would like to see missiles not attempted to be placed within 5 minutes of Moscow by the NATO pact. However, the problem is the Donbass area. Russia, I'm sure, would not want a withdrawal of its troops far away from its border to encourage the Ukrainian Kiev regime to attack the one part of the Ukraine which is not under its control, which is the eastern part, the Donbass people who really have a different idea of their future than Kiev does. That's the problem. That's what we need to solve, because in previous geopolitical situations, such as in Yugoslavia, we've had a Russian equivalent withdraw, and then the disputed area is attacked by the central government. So that's what I think Russia wants to avoid. If we can find a way of safeguarding the rights of the people of Donbass, we can find a security solution that meets the needs of both Ukraine and Russia and the world.
We do appreciate you giving us some of your Sunday today. Marko Gasic, international affairs commentator, live on RT.
Thank you.